Good morning, good morning. Welcome to our Talks with Anthony. Today we're going to have a insightful conversation. For those that are new to the channel, with mental health conversations and content that's going to be beneficial to your personal development in addition to your well-being. However, in today's conversation, we're going to be talking about building social connections, how to interact and socialize for better mental health. When it comes to research supports that humans are biologically wired for connection. Supportive relationships are a top predictor of resilience and emotional health from Harvard Center of Development and Child, right? So when it comes to another research supports in regards to the 80-year Harvard study of adult development found that quality relationships are the strongest predictor of life satisfaction, more than money or career status. So we got to take in consideration that, you know what I mean? Like when we put the money aside, put the fashion, all the distractions aside, career status, and you feel me, what your role is, whatever that may be in life. And I mean, we need social connections. People need to interact. It makes us feel much better, right? And we got to take in consideration that, you know what I mean, it makes us feel good and it supports our our emotional and our mental health. Let's dive into our first segment in regards to why social connections matter for mental health. So off the rip, we're going to be talking about it reduces that stress. So supportive relationships lower our cortisol level. So when we're around good people, we feel good about that, reduces that stress, we feel good. Mentioning that, we also have the feel good chemicals, right? So positive interactions release oxytocin, which increases trust and reduces anxiety. We're around good people, we feel good. Things are more harmonious. Like I said, reducing anxiety. We don't feel sore from the floor, but we're good around good people. Reduce that stress. Loneliness is harmful, right? So socialization, when it comes to that isolation, it increases the health risk of the level of comparable to smoking 15 cigarettes a day, right? So, you know what I mean? It's good to be isolated for, you know what I mean? Do you have your solitude, your moments of mindfulness, you know what I mean? Away from distractions, you really get to have your inner peace and dialogue, get to really journal, get into your bag, right? You're in a zone away from everybody else because you really want to have that time to reserve for you to be able to, you know what I mean? Hear your inner thoughts, really get in tune with you, right? But we gotta realize that when we're away from people for too long, this can cause us to be into loneliness, and that is harmful for our mental health, right? As mentioned, when it comes to research, supporting it shows that smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So this is tearing us down. It's not making us feel good. So you gotta realize that we gotta get back into the groove of interacting with people, saying hi, socializing, etc., right? Next is gonna be better mood and resilience, right? So even small interactions boost belonging and reduce negative emotions. I also want to mention too, in the mental health industry, I realized when it comes to working with the client, mentioning that, you know, just saying hi, right? Just feeling noticed, feeling like, you know what I mean? Like feeling seen, feeling heard, right? So these little small interactions, even you go into Dunkin' Donuts, you see someone sitting by themselves, just because someone has a resting yeah I mean face, you know what I mean? Doesn't mean that person. So we may internalize somebody and they could be a total opposite. So that's why it's important for us not to be, you know, judgy, not to be, you know, prejudiced, not to be racist, not to be, you know what I mean? Like just, we treat people the way that we want to be treated, you know what I mean? So just saying hi. That's a common, word that we all are familiar with. So it's just like, just saying hi, how you doing, etc., making small talk, whatever, and go about your day. That could really boost someone else's day. And also to you, when you give out comes back. And by loving others, you're loving yourself. So these are just the good little things that I really want us to put out there, because it helps us with our mood and that resilience. And also too, you're spreading that joy and love into others. Let's move on to our next segment, right? So understanding your social needs, right? So everybody's going to be different, right? Everybody's unique in their own ways, right? So we gotta realize that is normal. So unique styles are normal, right? So introverts, extroverts, and introverts benefit from relationships differently, right? So somebody may be quiet on the other side, but doesn't mean that they're not social, that they don't socialize, whatever. So they have their moments within the day, or they, you know, socialize when whatever makes sense to them, and that's normal, that's fine, right? So everybody has their own unique way how they do things, but we just want to have some understanding on why these things are important, because we don't want to have the loneliness, and we don't want to be into isolation for long periods of time. Also, too, brain wiring. When it comes to teens, for instance, teens naturally explore identity and peer relationships due to ongoing brain development. So they, you know, have a lot of personalities, a lot of traits from people that they're around, and their dynamic and their environment and their culture in their home, right? So when they're coming to school, etc., they're feeling connecting with other people, different cultures, and they're really developing in the process as they're interacting, right? So that's a crucial time when it comes to teens. I want to push for them too. Try your best to be a leader. Don't be a follower. You know what's right from wrong. Try your best, and I mean, hang with the good folks, the people that's going to really help you get to where you want to be. You heard? So really, I really want to be conscientious about that as you guys are developing. Really understand what your values are, right? The do's and the don'ts, and that will help you navigate to where you want to be on a positive note. So, y'all out there, like, please take this in consideration, because I really want you guys to have a positive identity in regards to getting to where you want to be on a protective note, right? Because our decisions, we got to take in consideration, have consequences for our future. So the things that you do now, the people that you hang around now, definitely have an impact on your future. So I want to be real, just transparent on that aspect, but understanding your needs. Moving forward, we're going to be talking about connection protects mental health, right? So students who feel connected in school are less likely to struggle with depression and anxiety, right? So me, myself, pulling myself back to my high school years, for instance, I had a good connection with one of my science teachers, Miss G, shout out, you know what I mean? I know she moved to New York, etc., but back in the day, she was really supportive after school, whether I got in trouble or not, you feel me? She was there to support me, really hear me out. Relationship issues, whatever it was at the time, she was able to really support me. So really having someone that you feel connected with, you feel safe with, you feel you can trust, you can really, you know what I mean? Like that relationship, that connection can really just change things, right? So it protects your mental health, right? Just having that support. One person that really could believe in you could really change your rhythm, really could change, you know what I mean, how you feel, et cetera, et cetera. So just doing things that are beneficial to you and having those social needs to protect your mental health are important. Next segment, we're going to be talking about how to build supportive and healthy relationships, right? Start small off the rip. It's not about, just before I dive into the research and all that stuff like that, it's not about the more friends that you have, the more peace you're going to have. You really want to think about your anxiety. Think about what makes you feels comfortable. What makes you get away from that depression? What makes you feel like you're feeling yourself? You feel comfortable, really, you feel authentic. You feel me? Think about these things, your values, right? Your do's and your don'ts, and get around people that's proactive and positive to be able to help you really exude that, right? I really want you to get to where you need to be, and by doing that, you got to hang around the right folks to get to the right results. So let's put it back to the research and the information, right? So I want to highlight that we have start small, right? So light interactions, right? Improve our mood, confidence, and community connection. Like I said, and this is coming from Stanford University, right? So we don't gotta just feel like we have to be a socialized person. We may look at this person over there and they're just so interactive and just so vibrant and they got it going on. They got the sauce, they got the juice. We don't gotta envy them. We don't gotta hate them, right? But look at them. Look at the simple things that they do, right? And also too is motivational speakers and other people that's doing it too and putting out information, right? So let's learn, right? Let's learn and let's implement some of those things and these skills into our life and let's improve ourselves, right? So there's no need to hate. Let's motivate ourselves to do what we got to do, right? So start small. So the little things matter. Like I said earlier about saying hi to someone in the morning, right? Practicing. Next is going to be active listening builds that trust, right? So we want to talk. We also want to take in consideration. We got to listen, right? So emotional responses predicts relationship satisfaction, right? So we got to take in consideration. We got to listen actively. Next is going to be join groups, right? So when we join clubs, sports, shared interests with other people, it helps us reduce that anxiety, even that stress, but we also too are able to build and strengthen our identity, right? So get into sports, get into boxing, get into dancing, get into, art, get into whatever of your own interest, get into that because you're able to engage with other people, learn from other people, develop that community, and be able to help your mental health. Next is going to be consistency over that perfection. So stop worrying about being perfect. Stop worrying about other people. Stop being jealous on other people, worrying about what the other people got going on. Worry about yourself. Be more consistent with yourself. Work on yourself, right? So, many small positive exchanges strengthen our bond. So the more things that we're doing, the more value we're doing, the more time that we're just trying to just be ourselves and develop those connections with consistency, things will get better and bonds will be strengthened over time, right? Hang around, like I said, I'm gonna say it again, positive people. I want you to have the positive results. Next segment we're gonna be diving right into is gonna be strengthening existing friendships. So first key concept, we're gonna talk about expressing gratitude helps, right? So saying thank you to people improves relationship stability and quality, right? From the University of Georgia, shout out, right? So we got to take that into consideration of gratitude. We got to show appreciation for people, right? Treat people the way we want to be treated, right? And I want to also tell y'all too is have more discernment. Keep your eyes open, right? Some people out here can be manipulating you, talking about you're my bro, but like my pops told me, for instance, right? You may be treating this person or you may perceive this person as a true friend or true family, like this is family, but they may be treating you like a regular person. It's a sad truth, but I want you to be discerning, right? But at the same time too, treat people the way you want to be treated, right? So, show gratitude. If someone does something kind for you, someone woke up to change your tire, you feel me? Like they're doing these little things, they putting in work, they're really helping you out, they're supporting you. Anytime you call, they answer, you feel me? Like look at the little things, right? And really show that love and that support by saying what? Thank you. Next, we're going to be talking about repair matters more than perfection, right? So addressing conflict calmly predicts long-term relationship success, right? So when you're not being passive, you're really setting boundaries, you're able to communicate respectfully and have those proactive conversations, things will last. Better relationships will be able to be amended, right? So then, talking nonsense behind someone's back and getting to too much gossip and, just doing things on a negative note, things ain't gonna progress. So we gotta be taking that into consideration. Repair matters more than perfection. But we gotta be respectful when we're doing it. Next is gonna be what reduces distress, right? So having just one close, confident person, right, could really reduce that depression and anxiety severely, right? So it's not about having the most friends in the world. It's not about having all these different people and being popular, right? One person that can believe in you, one person that supports you really can keep your rhythm up, really can get you right. You feel me? So it's not, like I said, just finding the right people, positive people, supportive people can really help you, especially in the moments when distress comes, because life ain't Candyland. I be saying that, right? So you're gonna have your challenging moments in life, but who's there when you need a call? Right? But on a side note, there's crisis lines, there's supportive lines, we have the 911, we have emergency lines, but you also want to have your resources and have supportive people when you need their support. Next segment, we're going to be talking about when socializing feels hard, overwhelming, barriers, right? So off rip, we're going to be diving into social anxiety is common, right? So millions of people are affected when it comes to teens. We have small, manageable social steps that we can do to help reduce that fear. Right, we're gonna dive into that today. So rejection hurts physically, right? So we have that. The brain processes social rejection similar to physical pain, right? So for the fellas out there, for the ladies out there, some people out here, for anybody in general, we all have our different rejection. But I just want to speak in a man's position, right? So we out here developing the courage to walk up to a shorty, for instance, to get a little number, a little interaction, whatever. When we not get what we want, that's a little sharp pain for the woman on that aspect. You ain't supposed to endure and have to take on the emotion of it. It is what it is. You send that boundary, you're all set. But I just want us to understand that exchange, right? Someone's feeling a little hurt. But I really want us to recognize, too, is how we go about it, right? How we respond about it, right? It's about being respectful. For the person out there, if someone ain't jacking you, no means no. That's cool. Go about your day. Let's leave on a respectful note. You know what I mean? So it's a way how we go about things, but I also want to understand for people, we got to be able to build our self-esteem up. And just because someone says no, that doesn't mean you're a bad person. It doesn't mean they're not. They just ain't jacking it. They're just not in the mind's frame to be dealing with someone right now. That's okay. So we have to know when a no means no, and that is okay. So no need to really take the hurt to a more difficult extent, right? We'll live, we'll move on, we'll get better. Next is going to be connection equals protection, right? So teens who feel seen by peers or adults at school have dramatically lower risk to that depression or suicidal thoughts, right? So being connected to the right people, like I gave you with my example with my science teacher back in the days in high school, just having that person that's able to believe in you, they really support you, they trust you, they feel where you coming from, right? And just having those proactive conversations can really help an individual, especially with someone that is trying to develop in a critical time in their life. So we really got to take that in consideration. Having that connection equals that protection. Next is going to be that skills can be learned, right? So developing these relationships are trainable skills. There's people out here that do public speaking, that do webinars, that do workshops, that you really run classes and courses on these type of things, right? Pay attention, communications classes, etc. I took that. Public speaking, I took that. Like, so I'm good on this aspect, but I really want you guys to understand too, it takes practice. Good things take what? Time. So the more consistent you are, the more you take it serious, the more you're intentional about it, you're going to get better. But we got, like I said, we broke down the steps about, being open and being ready for the transition in regards to your social skills. So we'll dive into that in another video, you know what I mean? But in regards to this, I broke it down in regards to why this is important, why it's important for us to socialize. I don't want you guys to be tore from the floor up. I don't want you guys feeling as if that you're smoking 15 cigarettes and your health and your body's going downhill, right? I really want us to have to understand that we're meant to, socialize, we're meant to talk, and we're meant to interact, you know what I mean? Regardless of how pretty someone is, regardless of how ugly someone is, we're a person. We have our values, we have a voice, we have the ability to interact. It's not about what the person may look like, but it's about who you actually are, right? So I improve you to and encourage you to interact, right? Treat people the way you want to be treated, right? Regardless if someone says no to you, this and that, you're able to leave respectfully, right? So just wrapping this video up, you are meant to have meaningful relationships, right? So you don't have to have a huge friend group. Let's start there. One person that believes in you, one person that really loves you, one person that supports you is able to help you out. So just wrapping up this video before we leave is I want to provide some research, right? So supportive at that. So quality relationships improve mental and physical health across the lifespan, right? And then strong social ties are protectors in regards to being protective against stress, anxiety, depression, even at burnout, right? So if you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up. We here, so I'm here to support you. Let's socialize, let's stay connected, right? And for those out there too, interact, say hi, show love, say thank you. If you found this video beneficial, give it a thumbs up, share if possible. See you on the next one. Stay blessed.